Hello students, this is Kanika. Welcome to my channel PrepBiology. So today in this lecture we are going to discuss most important topic of this unit, that is the Mendel's experiment. Okay, so if you see the class 12th biology, you have unit 2, that is the genetics and evolution. The weightage of this unit, particular unit in your board exams, 12th board exams is of 20 marks. So this is very important unit for board exam point of view. Okay, so in this lecture we are going to discuss chapter number 4, that is the principles of inheritance and variations, and discuss the first topic of this chapter, that is the Mendel's experiment. Okay, so what do you mean by genetics first? Genetics is a study of, it is the study of genes, genetic makeup. Genetic, gene is there, that is the study of genes or the genetic makeup or heredity. That science is called the genetics. Okay, and what is evolution? Evolution is basically the process. It is the process of change. It is the process of change in living organism. In living organisms, over generations, result in the new or diverse form of life. Okay, so we have a human evolution. How a human evolve from generation to generation, that all comes under, and evolve as a human being, that all comes under the evolution. Okay, I hope this is clear to you all. And now, what is inheritance? These terms are very important and repeatedly used in the lecture. So this is important. Okay, inheritance. Inheritance means it is the process of transfer of characters or traits from parents to offspring. This is important. Okay, so inheritance is basically, it is the process of transfer of character from parents to next generation. That process is called the inheritance. This is very important. So if you see the male and female, that is the mother and the father, and they have particular character, and it is a transfer from them to their kids. Okay, so that process is called the inheritance. And the last is the variations. Variations is the differences. Okay, so these are the differences. These are the differences in the genetic makeup, or morphologically how the kids or the son or daughter of the particular parent is differ from them. This difference is called the variation. I hope this is clear to you all. These all terms are very important. So let's start with the Mendel experiment. If you see the Mendel, the full name of the Mendel is Johann Gregor Mendel. Okay, and he was born in 1822 and died on 1884. Okay, these dates are also important. And the Gregor Mendel is also known as a father of genetics. Okay, why he known as the father of genetics? Because his contribution in the field of genetics is very important. Why? Because he discovered different laws of inheritance. Okay, that's why he is called the father of genetics. Now, what Mendel do? In 1856, this date is also important. In 1856, Mendel began a series of experiments at the monastery garden. So basically, Mendel was a monk, okay, and lived in the monastery. Okay, and 1856, he began a series of experiments at the monastery garden. Okay, and he chose a plant, that is the pea plant. The scientific name of pea is a garden pea, that is the Pisum sativum. Okay, the scientific name of the pea is the Pisum sativum. In 1856, he started his work, and from 1856 to 1863, he worked on this plant. Okay, so he worked at least 7 years on this plant, okay, and what did he particularly do? Okay, so why, first question is why he choose pea plant? Okay, why pea plant? Because there are many features for it. First is the pea plant have many alternative traits. They have many alternative traits, like in pea plant you have character like height, and the height contains two traits, tall and dwarf. Okay, so height is a character and the traits are tall and dwarf. So in the pea plant he found that it has many alternative traits, the contrasting traits, which he found, which is important for his experiment. Number 2 is the pea plant is easy to grow, easy to cultivate. Number 3 is it produces a large number of seeds. Okay, so the pea plant in one generation it produces a large number of seeds. So this is very important. This factor is very important for Mendel's experiment, because he found the number of seeds in one generation for his experiment. Next is the pea plant completed its life cycle in one season. So it has a short life cycle. Okay. And the next feature, why he chose pea plant? Because the flowers of the pea plants are bisexual in nature. Bisexual, what is the bisexual? The male and female part present on the same plant. So it is easy to self-pollinate. It is easy to self-pollinate these flowers for his experiment. And the last is it is easily artificially cross-pollinate. Okay, and the pea plant is easily artificially cross-pollinate for his experiment. So these all are the features why Mendel choose pea plant. These features are very important. So note it down. Now let's start. What did Mendel work? So Mendel took pea plant. He took the pea plant and suppose he choose different characters like height of a plant, the color of the flower, pod size, pod color. So suppose he choose height of a plant. So the height of the plant, the traits of the height of the plant is tall and dwarf. Dwarf is short plant. So what did he work? He took the tall plant and the dwarf plant and he self-pollinate the tall plant differently and dwarf plant differently. Okay. When he self-pollinate the tall plant, he found all the tall plants over generations. Number of generations, he found all the tall plants are there. So that tall plant is called the pure tall or pure breed plant. Okay, and he took a dwarf plant separately and he self-pollinate the dwarf plant over number of generations, and he found pure dwarf plants. Okay, so these pure tall and pure dwarf is called the true breed plants. True breed plants. Okay. Okay, clear? Now, when he had 100% pure tall and 100% pure dwarf, suppose it is the pure dwarf tall plant and it is the pure dwarf plant. Okay. Pure tall and pure dwarf. Now what he done? Cross-pollinate. He cross-pollinate. Okay. He cross-pollinate these plants. Pure tall and pure dwarf plants cross-pollinate. What did he found in the first generation? Any guesses? So what did he found? That when he cross-pollinate, this is the picture that shows the cross-pollination. Cross-pollination, how cross-pollination occurs. And this is the female plant and this is the male flower. The female flower contains anthers also because it is a bisexual flower. So it remove the anthers. That process is called the emasculation. Remove the anthers and transfer the anther from the male plant and cross pollinate it. And it has a number of seeds. Okay, so this is the result of the and grow these seeds, and these are the multiple plants of the cross pollination result. Okay, so this is how the cross pollination occurs. What happens that the pure tall and pure short plants, when they cross pollinate, they have in first generation they have all the tall plants. Okay, so here is the twist, understand it carefully. Okay, so what happens is, when he took pure tall and pure short, he cross pollinate, and in the first generation he found that all the plants show the tall character. So at this point he found something is transferred from one generation to next generation. Okay, and also he found one character of a parent is shown in a next generation, and next character is not express itself. Okay, so here he found that something was transferred from the parents to the offsprings. Okay, so he named that is the factor. Okay, he named that thing is a factor. Okay, and he also found that if we mix tall and short, some medium plants were there in the next generation. But he found in number of generations, when he cross pollinate a pure tall with a short dwarf plant, pure dwarf, then he found in the first generation all the plants were tall. Okay, so he discovered that something was transferred from one generation to next generation, and not mixing of characters are there in there. Okay, so there is a one character expresses itself and the other character is not express itself. Okay, but when he self-fertilized the first generation, that he found that some plants are of tall plants and some plants are of short plants. So the number of plants, tall plants, are 3 times more than the dwarf plant. Okay, so this is the experiment he has done. Okay, and by this experiment he conclude number of laws of inheritance that we will study in the next class. Okay, so I hope this whole experiment is clear to you all. Okay, so now he particularly choose 14 or he particularly choose 7 characters, and 7 characters have contrasting traits. Okay, so he choose 7 characters like the seed form, seed cotyledon, flower color, pod form, pod color, stem height, or the position of the flower. So he choose different 7 characters: seed shape, seed color, flower color, pod shape, pod color, flower position, and stem height. And each have two contrasting traits. So seed shape is of round and wrinkled. These are the traits. So character is a seed shape. Okay. And trait of this character is round and wrinkled. Okay. I hope this is clear. This is the character and these are the traits. So you all have to remember this chart. Why? Because in your examination you have questions regarding the crosses and you all have to know which trait is a dominant trait, which trait is a recessive trait. Okay, so these terms I will explain in the next class in different Mendel's laws of inheritance. Okay, so this chart is also very important. Next is, now let's discuss some important terms which are repeatedly used in the chapter and which is the basic of this chapter. Okay, so first is the factors. What are factors? According to the Mendel, something was being stably passed from the parents to offsprings, that is called the factor. Factor is nowadays we call the genes. Okay, so in Mendel's work, Mendel discovered the factor. The factor is something was transferred from the parents to their offsprings, that is called the factor. This is very important. Okay, now we call this factor is a gene. Okay, next is trait. What is trait? It is a specific variation of a character. Okay, so if you all can see what is trait, the height, character is height. Here is the height. And what are the traits? Tall and short traits. Okay, so these are the variations of a character. So this is the height is the character and what are the traits? Tall and dwarf plant. These are the traits. I hope this is clear to you all. Next, what is allele? Allele is very important. Allele is a pair of gene occupying a particular spot on a chromosome which code for a pair of contrasting traits. So allele is, what is allele? So it is this is a chromosome. Okay, and suppose here is the location of allele. Okay, so it is a pair of genes. These are the pair of genes which occupy same location on the chromosome, which code for a pair of contrasting traits. So if you have the height character and you have a trait like tall and dwarf suppose small t. So they are present on the same location on the chromosome and code for a particular trait. So suppose this allele is code for capital T, that shows the tall trait, and this allele code for small t, that shows the dwarf trait. Okay, so what is allele? It is a pair, always in pair. Remember, the allele are always in pair. It is in this form, it is in this form, it is in this form. Okay, so allele is a pair of gene which are present on the same location on the chromosome and code for a particular trait. I hope this is clear to you all. Now, what is genotype? Genotype is genetic constitution of living organism. All the genetic makeup inside the living organism, that is the genotype. And what is phenotype? Phenotype is opposite to the genotype. Phenotype is observable traits or a characters of a organism. Suppose how we can differentiate morphologically of an organism, which we are able to see morphologically. Okay, so like tall, he is tall or he is short. So by morphologically, by their outer appearance, we can say he is tall and he is short. So the observable traits or the characters of organisms that are visibly outer side, okay, so that is called the phenotype. What is a homozygous allele? Homo means same. Allele. Allele are in pair. So, an individual carrying two identical same alleles, like homozygous allele, the example is this. This is homozygous, same hai. Okay. And this shows the tall plant. And this is also homozygous. They are also same. This shows the dwarf plant. Okay. This shows this is also homozygous, identical alleles are there. So this shows the red flower. Okay. So like this is the homozygous condition. Heterozygous, hetero is a different allele like this condition, like this condition. This is heterozygous allele. Hetero means different alleles. One is T and this is small t. Okay. So it has it shows other character. Okay. So this is also a heterozygous. So these all are the terms which are very, very important for your this understanding of this chapter, or the different laws of inheritance when we do the different dihybrid, monohybrid crosses. So you all should know these important terms. I hope this lecture is beneficial to you all. Okay. So in this lecture, we have discussed the Mendel law. Second, we have discussed the important terms, why Mendel chose pea plant. So this is all about the first lecture of this chapter. So in the next lecture, we will discuss the Mendel's law of inheritance step by step. Okay. So this is all about today's lectures. Thank you so much.